This is to be a charcoal drawing, everyone. So you're going to start with vine charcoal. This is the variety of charcoal that can be erased readily. Use your chamois to erase or modify the image. You can also use your erasers, including the kneaded eraser. That's the gray one. Um, and maybe like a Statler Mars eraser. That's the white vinyl sort that I've suggested. A pink pearl, and I even like using a little eraser on the end of a pencil. Now, understand that this newsprint paper, your large paper, is not terribly durable, so you do have to plan. In other words, you can't erase, revise, and erase numerous times, so the paper starts breaking down. For those of you who may be near an art store or who would like to find a large pad or sheets of charcoal drawing paper, it'd be marvelous to have, 4 or 5 sheets of that for our class to draw drawings like this on. But for the most of you'll be using newsprint. I like to use the newsprint on a drawing board. To me, the drawing pad is too floppy, and it's just not sturdy enough to really control the drawing. I will put 1 or 2 extra pieces of paper underneath my drawing page to pad it lightly. I like to work on an easel. If you have an easel, that's great. If you don't, a drawing board with a second chair in front of you can work pretty well. Let's see. So, looking at Lisa's drawing, boy, she has really taken care in observing the leaves. I know precisely this sort of plant, although its name escapes me. And I can see that she is drawing the plant through observing it, through trusting what her eyes are seeing, because the leaves all look individual, the plant's asymmetrical. But when it comes to the pot, she's being tripped up by what she thinks it ought to look like. We know that a flower pot is going to sit on ground, whether it's a table or on the floor, and thereby our mind tries to tell us that its bottom must therefore be flat. However, that's not the way cylinders actually look to the eye. And if you see this diagram that I've taken from a site that you'll be linked to in week 2, I'd like you to look at the left side example there where you see bands going around the cylinder. So at eye level, that is, where you look straight across and see a cylinder directly across from your eye, there an edge will look to be a straight line, only there. If the bottom of the cylinder is below the level of your eye, it will be curved, and the lower or farther away you get from eye level, the more curvy it looks. So a good test is to take your pencil and hold it up at a perfect horizontal in front of you and let the edge of the rim and the edge of the bottom of the flower pot just sit above the pencil. Close one eye and squint, and then realize, note to yourself how curvy the upper edge is, the rim of the pot, and how the bottom where the pot sits on the floor is curvier still.